Hi, Hugh Scott here, upside down camera, back with part two. I have not figured out how to edit videos because I'm a floor guy and a shade tree mechanic, not a computer guy. So I'm using the camera that I have here to start part two of spark plug removal for a 2008 Mustang GT CS. CS stands for California Spec. Okay. Now I'm going to use this camera to show you what I'm working with again. We have all of our tools over here. I explained the tools in the first one. Now, what we do have is we have Excel plugs. Let me turn this camera around, all right? Excel, shout out to American Muscle from American Muscle. I went with a copper core, and they have a very good base on them. You will see them when I start the removal. I also went with coil packs. Again, shout out to American Muscle. All right. Remember these screws right here. Remember, don't lose them or drop them. They can get lost easy. They can also get rounded off easy. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop this coil pack in the hole. While you were gone, I had one that did not, porcelain came out in a full sheet, so I did a quick removal. Let's move. So I have two left. Now this is what I'm seeing with my camera. The plug pulled out. No, this one, I mean, the plug broke off inside the block head. This is what I'm looking at. Now I'm going to get the camera set up so you can watch it. I will try to dictate as I go. I am not good at this, but I am doing this because I found so much stuff everywhere and people were not being thorough. They didn't tell me what tools I need. They didn't tell me any of this. Oh, remember also, you need grease. Okay. And you need grease on the end of your tool when you take it out to get bite. Okay. This is the tapper. Now what I start with is the shield, which will go in first. I will show you and explain as I go. Give me a second to get the camera set up right. Stay with me. Okay. You see the plug? This thing will bump around a little bit on me. And then refer back to the kit. The first thing you're going to drop in is your primary tool. The kit. Then you have another tool. Oh, hang on. I started with the wrong tool. You start with your removal tool. Okay. This is what you got to do to remove the threads. It is threaded. It will be in the kit. Okay. Now, this piece actually came from the Amazon kit, and it works better than the one from the AutoZone kit, but everything else with the Amazon kit does not work. So now inside this is your crusher knob. right here, and I will slide it in. Okay. And then this is the tool that I go down on top. Now, what I'm going to do here is I am going to crush the porcelain. All right. Let me drive this thing in. This is where all your wrenches come into play. Bear with me. My Mustang almost ate my tools. Cars have a way of doing that. They absorb tools. Oh, wrong size. Gotta go bigger. That was the 17. So for this, I'm using the 13/16. 13/16. Sounds like a disease. I got 13/16. All right. So I'm putting this in just like a regular spark plug. Good and tight. Okay. Now I've already dropped my other thing in there. Now I'm going to put my crusher in there. This crusher is going to push that other thing in that I've dropped in and crush the porcelain. Okay. Is my 17 millimeter. It could be different depending on what kit you get. Now, this is a guide on it, so you'll know when you bottom out, you've crushed the porcelain. Now listen close. The wind picked up. I don't know if you can hear it, but listen. You hear that sound? That is the porcelain cracking up inside, which you're grinding it down to a fine powder. People have said back in, back off, back in, back off. I'm just driving down in this. There you go. Hear that? That's all that porcelain cracking. Now, I've bottomed out. See that? Well, almost. Let me go just a little bit more. Ooh, that was a good sound. More porcelain cracking. Crushing it. There we go. Ooh, got a lot more of that. We just had plug removal. No way. Ha! Wonders never cease. We might have been lucky on this one. No. There. All right, never mind. Okay. Now I'm gonna take this back out. All of our porcelain should be crushed. And wind. I cut this finger terribly bad yesterday. Be careful when you do this. It is not easy work. And that reminds me to put my gloves on. I had to take them off because the camera would not change without the heat impression of my finger. Very annoying. Freaking technology. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you down in the hole. Oh, I got to take this thing out first. Again, I go back to my 13/16 to extract the item that I used to break the porcelain. The porcelain, it's a shield. Now, as I pull this out, I'm going to show you what is on the bottom that I actually pushed in to break the porcelain. Now, I use my handy dandy pliers here to pull this up. There is the item right there. That is what broke the porcelain. It got drove down into the area. Okay. Now let's look inside. All right. Now the porcelain is shredded. Okay. Now guys are saying blow it out. You can blow it out or you can suck it out. So I'm going to use my handy dandy little sucking tool that I made with a straw tied to a vacuum from the corner and taped to a piece of this for part of my forced air induction setup that everybody said wouldn't work, that added so much horsepower. I had to put new plugs, new coil packs, and I've got to get another tune because I put too much power. Okay. Anyway, here's the straw. Okay, here we go. Hard to do though. The suction is so great, the straw keeps sticking to the side. Put back on it, and that from a different angle here. Okay. Now I have got enough porcelain out of there to get a bite. Let me try and get a little bit more. Okay. Now I will use the air. You see, the air don't always work. I am now ready for step 2. Hang on, bear with me while I get the camera set back up. Okay. I now have the extractor tool and the shield you put back in, or first, the second shield. Okay, let me lift that so we can see it a little clearer now. The extractor tool. Oh, my fuel injection system is in the way. Okay. This is where the 7mm socket comes into play that they don't tell you you need. Not 7. Oh, here. I'm sorry. The 5/16 socket is what fits on this extractor that they don't tell you you need, of course. Okay. Now I put grease all on it already. Let me just be sure. I'm going to reach over to my grease bucket. We'll slip it back in. Grease. I already feel it biting. So I'm not going to do too many because I got to get one more use out of this tap. I'm only going to do about 4 turns. Okay, I feel comfortable. I may have to redo this, hopefully not. We will see when I put my item in. It also helps to have a handy dandy magnet in case you drop parts. Just don't drop them in your cylinder, because then your problems will just begin. Now, I don't know why they don't use this tap at the same time, but what can you say? That's what, because the other tool, see how the end of that tap will sometimes shred. It's very frustrating. The one from Amazon shreds terrible, becomes unusable. Here's our new one from AutoZone. See, the end of it already has flattened out some, but I got enough thread, I should be able to bite into it. Apply my grease. Oh, not too much, just a little bit. Now, preparing the nut. Had to remove it from the last removal. Now, here's where I use my millimeter tool. And this one is a, let me make sure. It is the 10 millimeter. Okay. Now, you will feel this harden as it goes in. I do apply pressure. I already feel it biting, but I've went 4 turns before. Now I feel it loose. So I'm going to put more pressure. It's not biting good. I may have to retap it. Oh, there we go. We got bite. You feel it get real tight. And then you keep your fingers crossed for the next step. Okay. Here is your nut. Now it comes with a washer, but sometimes the washer makes it too thick. This is where you're going to need the 15/16 socket, which I had to go to Rural King and get. And then my Mustang ate it. And so I borrowed it from my buddy who is a mechanic. And he had a deep well, which without the deep well, I had to modify a spacer because the spacers they send are not big enough. I'm going to hand tighten this. And now I'm going to put the, oh, excuse me, 15/16 deep well. Now listen as it gets tight. If this works, I will know in a minute. I may have to retap. I don't know yet. If this works, you will hear a sound. It feels good. It feels tight. We're going to see now. Listen. There you go. Okay. You heard that sound? That means it broke loose. Tight. Oh, that means there's a lot of rust on it. Thank ethanol for that. Okay, now it's loosening up. Oh, yeah, we're looking good. I am probably going to have to use my pliers to pull this one out. This is one of the tightest ones. There we go. That's starting to loosen. All right, I'm going to try and pull this out. If nothing else, I always keep a handy pair of vice grips or channel locks handy. And there is our plug. Look at that. Look at the rust. Thank you, Ford, you bunch of jackwagons. They build a car like this, awesome horsepower, incredible car, and then they put cheap, crappy plugs in it. Okay, I'm going to pull this out and turn the camera. This concludes the removal. I will go back over the parts again, and it's a 24-minute video. I hope it helps you. I have one left. It has taken me my face here. Ha! It has taken me I am at, do a time check. 15 hours. It took me 15 hours because there was not a video online that explained everything I needed to do. And then it took 16 and a half runs to different stores, an order off Amazon, which didn't work. Well, it helped with breaking the porcelain up, but the rest of the kit was useless. So I don't know if I should get my money back or not. I mean, I used some of it, but again, let's go over. I'm going to put the camera on the items that I used. Okay. Again, ten millimeter, 13/16, 17. I don't know if I use that or not. Anyway, I used a wrench and then this Big Daddy right here, my 13/16. Here's the extractor. Well, that's not the extractor. That's the plug remover. Here's the extractor. Here's the grease. Here's the old coil packs. Shout out to Excel. Hey. The plugs. All right. There you go. Copper core. These bad boys better work. I'll let you know if they don't. Trust me. Now, let me pull my plug. Now, what I'm doing with the plug, I am coating the threads and the base with lithium grease. And that is over here. I love the lid just fell off. Unbelievable. I love my lithium grease. I was going to show you, but that's going to have to be another topic. Anyway, I try to keep it off the electrode part. I put it on the base and on the threads before I go back in. Now, one more step. Let's look down in here and see if there's any porcelain in the chamber. All right. There is some porcelain in the chamber. Look. Now, they are saying that this is going to pass the valves. However, I use my vacuum with the straw attachment to go down in there and suck most of that out I can. Then I hit it with the air compressor, with the blower, and then I vacuum it again. I'm at 28 minutes. People have short attention spans nowadays. So I'm going to call this one. This was part 2. Refer to part 1 for any other information. Thank you. Have a great day.